y'all. I know it's been a minute since I made a YouTube video, so here we go. Today I'm actually going to be doing a makeup tutorial, so I'm going to be giving the girls looks, okay? And I have some things that I plan on using. I have like my brushes out here. I have my setting powder. Ooh, I have alcohol in here, which you'll see what I'm going to use it for. And I have my Got To Be glue. This is also Got To Be glue. I just put it in this eyelash serum thing just because like it's more convenient and it's easier to use. I have my cotton balls, cotton swabs to clean up some things. This is the palette we're going to be using, this purple color. Yeah. Oh, and this white. Yeah. So let's get into it, shall we? First things first, you want to clean your eyebrow area with alcohol. It could be whatever. Just make sure that area is clean. See, look at that oil. Let that dry a little bit. It shouldn't take too long because alcohol dries very quickly. I'm gonna get my Got To Be glue, which is placed in here, and I'm just going to brush this area. So this makes it easier for me to do my brows, and it also like helps me shape my brow hair to whatever direction I want them to go. Also helps your brows last longer, so they stay on for a longer time. Them things gonna be stuck, okay? You let it get a little tacky, just a little bit. And I go ahead and go in with this spoolie to reinforce the shape I want. So I wanna make sure the front hairs are going straight up. Then I use the back of the spoolie just to press down on my hair, make sure they really get stuck. We want it to get tacky, so that I can really stick to my skin. And I basically apply setting powder on my brows before doing them. Before I start doing my brows, I want to make sure I take out the excess glue around my brows, okay? That's just because I don't want to put on concealer and then it starts looking weird because, you know, there's glue there. I usually use a black pomade and this type of liner brush for precision, but today I want to do brown. So this pencil is already really sharp. Start from the bottom and just do light strokes. So I usually line the entire bottom first, and then I go upward with the strokes. So it's important to line up the beginning of your brows with the bridge of your nose. So this is where they should be. You want to do little lines towards the front, okay, to make it look a little more natural. And then now when we go to the top, still very gentle strokes. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I used pencil. This feels really weird. We're gonna do the other side. See how I'm doing little strokes at a time? I'm not just drawing it like that. You have to be building. And it's okay if it doesn't look that good right now, just because, I mean, it's gonna get cleaned up with concealer. So now the brows are ready for concealer. Before the concealer, I just get this spoolie and just brush it out a little bit more. I mean, the hairs are already stuck, so I'm really just blending the pencil, because we don't want harsh lines showing. I'm actually going to be using blank canvas. This is Plouise. Use a flat brush. So I basically line that area. And then you want to make sure you brush downwards. See, look, it looks cleaner already. Look at that. So if you use concealer, you just gotta make sure that you put it everywhere, especially if you plan on doing an eye look. This is why I chose to use this blank canvas, so that I could prepare for my eyeshadow. And so with this paint, it actually creases pretty quickly. You have to make sure that you don't raise your eyebrows while you're applying it, because then whatever crease it forms, it just stays there and it's really tough for it to go away. All right, seems like everything is blended right here. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side. When you do the bottom, you wanna make sure that this area lines up, because then that helps you make sure that your eyebrows are even, okay? And then you do the same thing for the top. For the top, I make sure I use a darker concealer, one that's closer to my skin color, just because it just looks better whenever I put on foundation. And so I'm using Maybelline Super Stay. I'm just gonna go ahead and start by like applying it right here. And I use a flat brush to blend it out. Okay, and for the front, I just blend it this way to give me a more natural look. And then I blend it upwards. And there we have it. And then you do the same to the other side. So the brows are done. Brush it a little bit just to facilitate more blend. Your brows are sisters, not twins. So when I use this paint, I actually don't do setting powder because I just don't need to. But whenever I use concealer on my lid, I set it with setting powder. So if you do that, make sure you set it with setting powder. Don't be shy with the setting powder, put a lot. Okay, we're done with that. Now we can move on to the eyes. Okay, I have like a natural crease right here, so I'm just gonna follow that here. The look I'm gonna do is it's a little simple, so I'm just gonna go like that with the purple. So I'm gonna be using the purple paint. Start here. Now, if you make a mistake with this paint, you actually have to clean it with alcohol. There we go. See, one line already made. Let's just work on blending this area before I move on to the other side. So I'm gonna use a fluffy brush just to blend this out a little bit. All right, so using this part of the brush. And then the final color is gonna be this color, so it's like a purple pink. We're gonna be using this same brush because it's a smaller area that I have to work with. When using the same brush, just make sure you wipe out whatever excess eyeshadow color you had on there, just to make sure it doesn't, interfere with the color that you plan on doing next. I wanna make sure this area underneath my brow stays right there. This brush, I'm just gonna use it to blend everything together. So that's one big happy family. Let's clean this part up. Now it's time for the bottom part. It's gonna be like a cat eye kind of moment. I'm gonna use the same purple and this. So for the wing, it's easier if you just stretch your eyes a little bit. Add some more at the bottom. Not me already creasing, you see what I mean? Oh, now I can clean it up. If you're doing this and you don't have the paint, you can just use concealer. You need to add some gems, but for the most part, we are done. Now it's time for me to do the other side off camera. Alcohol with this flat brush, and I'm just going to clean it up right here. When using alcohol, you need to be very careful when you're putting it near your eye. Now, for the rhinestones, as you see, they're very small. Dang it, I don't have my glue I would normally use, So we're gonna use the stickiness that's already on there. I could also use eyelash glue, but I would prefer to use the one that dries clear, and I don't have that type. So I'm basically gonna do it all the way down. Went ahead and added 2 rhinestones to a slit on my eyebrow, and I did the slit with concealer. So now for the face, I use this face primer color corrector. I got this from Dollar Tree, baby, $1. It is LA Colors, and LA Colors actually has some good stuff. People really be sleeping on them. I basically place this on my black spots, any area that I want to cover up, and I put a little bit underneath my eyes here. That just helps my concealer pop more. And I also add a red corrector. It helps me with my foundation set those areas. As I'm setting it, I'm kind of like blending. Doing it like this helps those areas stay covered up, and I leave the red areas alone. I don't apply setting powder on those areas. For underneath my eyes, I usually blend it out first and then apply some setting powder. So now after all of that, I spray my face. Alright, so for the trick with lashes, how I get it on very easily, I use a super strong hold. It's IMV brand, and I basically apply a little bit on my lash line, apply it like eyeliner. I also apply it on the lash line. I let it get dry just a little bit. This glue actually dries pretty quickly, so I don't have to be waiting a long time. They are ready to stick. I don't use tweezers because, well, that's just not how I learned. Make sure you get it right on your lash line. That is the goal. See how easy that was? Real quick. For the foundation, I like mixed up my foundation in here. I believe it's Maybelline mixed with some dark shades to get my perfect skin color. I am going to use this concealer stick. Let me wipe out some of the concealer. I use it to dip it in here, and then I basically apply it like so. And then I use a thick fluffy brush to blend. So I spray my brush. So you want to make sure that you're patting when you blend. You don't want to swipe it, you want to pat. Now you see the coverage now because of what I did before. I got your attention. Copy that. Next up, concealer. I use Milani. This concealer is really almost done, which really nothing is probably gonna come out. That's how finished it is. Ooh, hold on now. Okay. All right, so let me just. I'm gonna go all the way up. Then I use this darker color concealer, and I just apply it right here. I'm gonna spray it to blend it out. Whew, okay. I use a fluffy brush, as you could see. Always pat, never slide. That's the makeup motto. And I use a smaller brush for my nose. Since, you know, obviously it's a smaller area, you don't want to use a big brush for that. Before you proceed to setting powder, you really want to make sure that everywhere is blended, because once you set it, that's it. I use this brush for setting powder, and for that I apply it everywhere I put the concealer. I'm basically blending the setting powder into my skin, because baby, we don't do flashback around here. I don't blend it out yet until I do my contour. So I do one right here, place it right there. I do some dots here. I like to use this for my nose. So I apply it right here, and then another one right here. So I usually blend the rest of my nose in with my fingers. You want to make sure you go all the way up. Bring the setting powder back. Just make sure your nose is slim. Gonna brush upwards. Usually drag it down first and then blend it upwards. Then you want to go up right here to cover up this concealer area and do the same right here. Make sure you are washing y'all's brushes, because when you don't, you'll really notice how much of a difference it makes on your makeup application, especially your foundation brush. I blend it downwards and then like towards my hairline too. Add some powder underneath here. Whatever excess I have on a brush, I just brush it underneath here. And I use a total brush to blend everything out. Now we're gonna do blush, and I'm using Black Radiance. Wanna pat it. This brush, it's a paint brush, and I'm just gonna apply it right here. Next, we're going to spray. Make sure everywhere is blended. Wait until I do setting spray to do my highlighter, because it makes it really pop. Pop, 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 pop. I need something underneath my eyes here. I'm gonna do this color right here. I need to bring my mold back and use this pencil. Ooh, where did it go? Oh Lord. All right, I had to bring my mold back. I actually use LA Colors. I have other highlighters, but this has been doing what it needs to do for me. You just want to pat that area. I'm about to do my lips and I'll be back. All right, so this is the finished look. How do we feel? How do we feel? I love it. You remember how I told y'all that with this paint it creases very easily? Well, look at that, already creasing. I don't like it. I don't like it. But this look though, it is giving what it needs to give. Okay, you see the gems, you see the brows. Okay, just know I did what I had to do. I did what I had to do. Okay, get into it, get into it. And on my lips I have paint, so the same colors that I use on my lids, I basically put it on my lips. For the most part, it's purple and pink. That's about it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. And stay tuned. I might have a little bit more makeup tutorials coming, you know.
You know we better turn it up. Better call my girl like right now. She better pull up to the spot with the crew. Long hair.